I'm holding in my hands a piece of amber that I purchased. Um, it's actually got these little inclusions of bugs. Little bugs. I think when you look closely, you can see that there's like a little spider or a little fly. Small pieces of what looks like to be a spider leg or two. And what's remarkable is what I've been told is that amber is like millions of years old. So I've got in my hands some things that are so very ancient. And there's even little air bubbles in this. Pretty sure there's little air bubbles. Anyway, I'm feeling really good today because I feel as though I'm healing, and I feel as though collectively we're going through a transition and we're really moving through some heavy stuff. I think we're doing a lot of work too while we're sleeping and dreaming. And I've gotten to the point over a length of time and recently where I'm tired of avoiding the shadow work that I know needs to be done. It may be a trauma response, something that happens in my head. Either it's because I have a very active and vivid imagination, or it could be what I'm about to describe is a response to someone who's been through a lot of trauma. And it's that when I'm talking about something, or pretty much any time in life when I'm going about doing something or thinking about doing something, I'll often have like a flash in my mind of like a worst case scenario. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go visit somebody who just had a baby and their baby's so beautiful, and I'm like imagining dropping or hurting the baby. Like, I love children, and it's like I think I naturally just imagine like the worst case scenario happening, and it's like my brain, and I'm answering my own query here, my own question. It's that we naturally want to prepare ourselves for trauma or worst case scenarios so that we can cope and deal. I think we naturally want to, some part of my brain, I think, comes into play. This reminds me of parts work, and I think that when you've been through anything traumatic, you have to dissociate. I was just doing some journaling, and that came up in it, that, you know, when we've been through traumatic things, we as children, or at any age, honestly, we don't always tend to be able to, especially as children, to manage that emotion and to deal with it in the moment. So we literally just detach. We become kind of like it's like a part of our consciousness is like a string attached to our body, but only just. And it's like we're not really there fully. And so in some ways, I'm kind of heartbroken. Some part of me is like, this is shadow work for sure. Some part of me is truly heartbroken that I've been living my life off and on, like detaching, like not fully in my body, not very grounded. And my heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye, and crown are very open, at least fairly developed. But my lower chakras require some healing. I'm sure they all could use healing. I'm sure we all can use balancing and healing and what have you in our energy centers. But part of me is so sad and what like got emotional a moment ago when I said like it's like I'm a balloon. I'm like a string attached to my body, and I'm not even fully in most moments. I'm I'm a very analytical person. Um, my sun sign is Virgo. I was born on the Leo cusp. And then I've got a Capricorn moon. So I've got some earth energy as well as fire because I have a Leo rising and I was born on the cusp of Leo. So I'm literally a Leo Virgo and then a Leo rising. So I've got some energy there that's earthy and fiery. But and my Venus is in Cancer. And my midheaven is in Taurus. But then I've been learning recently about sidereal astrology, and it turns out through a sidereal astrology, I'm a Leo sun, Sagittarius moon, which just makes so much sense. Knowing of me and my personality, and my heart's like, yeah, this is important for you to be acknowledging. And my Venus is in Gemini, which explains some of the Mercury influence, like whether it's tropical astrology and I'm a Virgo, or whether it's sidereal and it's Gemini in Venus. And then it says my midheaven in sidereal is Aries, which makes a lot of sense because I'm very, independent, and I'm very, I'm like in a lot of ways a natural leader. I just think because of my sensitivity and my incredible depth of like empathy, being an empath, and my up till recently I've hidden and I've played smaller, and I've taken it easy and taken it slow, and I've just kind of protected and nurtured myself. I'm somebody who's going to always need to protect and nurture myself, but I'm growing tired of living a life where I'm hiding in a box or a bubble or my safe spaces. My soul and heart have always wanted to be free. And I've always endeavored to explore and frolic and travel and marvel and to perform and sing and dance and play and be nurtured and loved and supported and loved. I said love twice. I guess I really needed to mention that part twice. But needed to feel safe and needs to feel safe. My instinct is to say I'm sorry that I'm crying, but I'm not, because this is how I feel. This is how I feel when I talk about this. Yeah. I've got a book in front of me called Loving the Self Affirmations by Lisa A. Romano. And she's a narcissistic abuse and codependency support counselor. And the book here is about breaking the cycles of unconscious codependent belief systems. And I think that was a great book for me to get. And another one that I'm going to do my best to read a few pages of or start, getting into chapter 1 of is The Completion Process by Teal Swan. And it's parts work. And I'm feeling more ready than I ever have in my life to begin to really get it done and do the damn thing. I'm fucking tired of, feeling like I was just going to say feeling like a fly on the wall, but I don't know. I think because of my incredible depth of sensitivity and the enormity of my loving heart and the power that I can wield when I'm in a good space and when I'm held either by myself or by those who support me, I am such a wonderful, bright light and healing force. But I'm generally rather afraid. Or I have been up till now. I've been afraid to be seen and heard in some respects, but even those are the things that I've wanted the most, but I've been afraid to put myself out there, is what I think I prefer to say. I've in some ways needed and wanted to live in my own world, my own little, just play pretend, and my own little, I need my space. I truly, as someone with such an active mind and so much fiery energy, I really need a lot of space and time to myself. I do need like a safe space to decompress. But for years, I've just had to revert into this shell. I'm gonna get a tissue. Ooh, it tickles. Oh. Anywho, trying to get the sentence out here. I've just remained in a safe space, and, I need to fucking give myself a pat on the back. I need to give myself a pat on the back because I've been doing so much healing work. And I'd have to say that my conscious awareness of who I am and what I am as a soul and what my purpose is, and this whole thing, like, I was able to recognize the truth apart from what I grew up being taught when I was like 22, 23, early 20s, like from 2011, 2012 specifically. I kind of had like this recognition of what was what. I learned about meditation, and I asked God, Mother, Father, God, to just take the reins and to show me what I'm here to do. That I knew I couldn't do it on my own steam and my own ego mind, and that I was surrendering. I was so done of hurting, and I just was surrendering and trusting that, doing my best to trust that Mother, Father, God was going to be like, here, this is what's what. And I was blown away at what I was shown, and I've been guided along the way. I've learned and grown so very much, and I do really, truly need to give myself one hell of a pat on the back. And I'm glad I'm doing this video, because when you're someone who spends the majority of your time on your own, or if you've been single for a while, which I have, and you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, because I'm waiting for the partner that is going to meet me where I'm at and who we can just be together and live our lives together and share our hearts and souls together and grow together. I'm not even focused on that, and I know I can't be in a relationship even though my soul and my body and heart want a loving life partner so deeply. It's not what's needed first. I need to heal and deal through this shit. I gotta slaw, is that the word? I gotta trudge through. That's funny. I need to move through this stuff first. And so the more, harden my tissue. I won't apologize for the crying with the nose stuff. All that, perhaps I will. Anywho, yeah. So, I find myself lately so grateful that when I pray and ask to connect to beautiful, like-minded souls who are on similar journeys and who are meant to be on my path and who want to share their lights and their hearts with me, and to collaborate and to support one another, it hits really deeply, because for the past couple of years, at least since 2019, I've just had a yearning for sisterhood, and I've had a need to connect with my soul family. And so I'm really grateful that whenever I really call out and ask for that and pray about that and intend that these people who are meant to be in my life for various reasons that are meant to do just that and be just that they are there and that they make themselves known. I intended to probably do some more videos here. Oh, goodness, I'm like, will they be tear-filled? We'll find out. Yeah, I intend to do some more videos in the future where I'll get more in depth about other things. But one last thing I think I'll share for now is I had to get out of the house the other day. Was it Thursday? And I just bundled up and went on a walk through the snowmobiling trail right outside my apartment building, and I trudged through snow for probably like an hour and a half, and I just let go. My intention was to let go of my mind and to do my best to be in the moment and just enjoy being in nature and to ground down into nature and really be present with the trees and the breeze and the air, and just I watched the sun and how it peeked through the trees, and I called on I've done some shamanic work, an intermediate shamanic course back in 2019. So life-changing and beautiful, and I'm so grateful for that. And I touched on some of that that I learned from those teachers, my shamanic teachers, and I called on my animal spirit helpers and asked if they wanted to be with me during my little walk, to show me anything, to teach me anything, to reveal anything to me that might be needed. So I walked a ways and then came upon the end of the part of the trail I was willing to walk on, because I found the snowmobile trail went through someone's driveway, like someone's property. So I was like, yeah, I'll turn back. And then I went through the middle. I backtracked, and then I went toward the middle of the field where I'd always kind of wanted to watch. I've always kind of sat up on the hill and looked at the middle of the field, and I'd watched deer and other animals out there and kind of always kind of wanted to walk out there, and I've never really walked out into the middle, so I was glad to do that. And when I did, the snowmobile trail looped around the tree line, and at one point I just felt the desire. I'm like, I kind of want to just sit or lay down. And so I sat and lay down in the snow, and I just saw a wispy cloud that looked a lot like some weird not gaunt, but like a ghostly type hand a little bit. And I just pictured myself plopping into the palm of Mother, Father, God's hand, and was just like wanting to surrender. And I was like, what's my path in life? What the hell? What am I here for? Like, I know a lot of these things to some degree, but sometimes we just feel so lost and so beaten down by being here, and it's just so hard, and it's just really hard. Shit's getting real. Not that it's ever been particularly easy, but it's tough. And so I even laid back and asked that God would guide me, give me signs, give me any messages they had for me, Mother, Father, God. And within literally seconds of saying that, I turned in my head and I saw a bald eagle flying just over the hillside. And what's significant about that, in addition to bald eagles being very pure spirits, since they fly so high in the sky and they're just very pure spirits, what's really significant is that's the animal spirit guide that came through to me probably a half hour or 40 minutes before. When I called on an animal spirit helper, I saw eagle. And so that right there really showed me that we're held, that nature spirits, animal helpers, Mother, Father, God, and Gaia, I mean, it's all here for us. We're all here for each other, and we're all helping each other along the way. It's a beautiful journey. It's really overwhelming at times, and we need each other. So just be kind to you and be kind to one another.